Hey guys, I just wanted to do a little behind the scenes update. We just finished shooting some more workout movement tutorials today. We actually have 14 now that we've done. None of them are uploaded to the website yet, so they're all in various stages of editing on my computer, but I am at the point where I have most of the steps together that I need for making a completed video that I can actually upload to the internet and put on the website. So very soon they should all be up there. It's taken me a while to get that together, but one of the hugest parts is the actual shooting of each movement. Each movement takes us between 1.5 and 2.5 hours to get all the footage for it. Of course, the videos aren't that long, but it takes that long to get the footage. And that's just for the day of the shoot. So every week I pick 2 movements that I'm hoping to shoot tutorials for. And so that whole week I'm reading the documents with like all of the information about them. Usually it's like between 4 and 8 pages of information. I'm reading it over and over, like every single day. I'm practicing it. In most cases, the movements, I've been doing them for a period of time. It's just that once I decide to shoot those 2, I then kind of like, ramp up what I'm doing with it and just make sure I really understand all the nuances and the details. For every movement, there's variations you can do. There's ways to modify the movement if you can't do it as it's shown. There's ways to make it more challenging. So it's kind of like I can't just practice just the one way. I have to practice all of those things, the variations, the modifications, the more challenging ways. And I send videos of me doing the movement to Carol, the physical therapist that I'm working with as I create these tutorials, and she'll review my video and kind of tell me what I'm doing right or what I'm doing wrong, and then I can adjust it, and it helps me to understand the movement more. It's amazing how many just little subtle details there are to a movement sometimes that it's just can be easy to misunderstand something, a movement pattern. And so if I misunderstand it, she can point it out, and then I realize like, oh, I want to explain this. I kind of want to break this part down because I misunderstood it, so it would be easy for someone else to misunderstand. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about as I learn these things, and I try to write out like how could I explain this so that you don't misunderstand it the same way I did. So anyway, that's just a little bit of that. This is my little workout space right now. This is an unfinished part of our house. It's actually gradually getting finished. So like a few days ago, there was no insulation in those walls, and now there is. So that's very exciting. But I have these 2 large whiteboards. Do you see those? And so what I have is the top one, usually they're next to each other, but I had to take it down to get the insulation in. But this one has all of the upper body movements that we currently have written up documents for that I need to be practicing each week and reading over and learning just so I know what we have. And then as I shoot them, I check them off. And then once we get new movements, we have a lot more on a spreadsheet that we haven't gotten to yet. Once we get to those, we'll add them to the list. But it's just a great visual way for me to see what I'm working with. And then down here we have the lower body movements and some of my son's drawings and one of his spy mission trail things there. So anyway, it's kind of funny with the shooting that we're doing. It's kind of like this weird pattern so far where every other week is really, really hard. Like every other week, I feel like I can't talk. I have to do multiple takes of certain things. I can't remember the verbiage. And I just feel so not together, and it feels incredibly hard. And it's just like, oh, I'm like thinking like, 20 minutes in, I feel like quitting and just like calling it a day. But right now we only shoot once a week. And with my helper, my assistant that's doing the videography, she's only available certain days. So it's kind of like if I don't shoot that day, then I have to put it off for a whole week. And, each week, those 2 movements, it adds up. And especially since I'm shooting these outside, snow and winter is coming. So it's officially fall now. So it was 90 degrees outside today, but that's not going to last long. It's not necessarily comfortable shooting in 90-degree heat either, but it's better than 30 degrees in a tank top. So anyway, I'm just kind of racing against the weather a little bit. So I kind of have pushed myself through on those weeks when it's just felt incredibly, just so, so hard. And then the funny thing is like every other week, I feel like the words flow better. I really enjoy it. Like, oh, I really like teaching. I come from a line of teachers. They didn't teach fitness per se, but they were teachers, and I enjoy teaching. I like explaining how to do something and helping someone else learn to do something just the way someone taught me to do it. It's enjoyable for me. It makes me feel satisfied. And so on those off weeks, I feel that way. Like, wow, this was fun. I enjoyed being on camera teaching this information, and the words were flowing. And so it's just kind of interesting how it just seems every other week like that. So, anyhow, I just wanted to give a little update on where I'm at. It's October something or other 2020, and we have about 14 movements recorded as of now. So, I just feel like this will be fun to look back on when I'm farther down the road. I try not to think too far ahead right now because since I picture myself having possibly close to 100 movements to record, and we're only on 14, we only do 2 a week, and it's just a huge amount of work to do each two. It's like if I think too much about how much there is total to do, it just feels too overwhelming. Like how could I just don't know how I'm going to do this. But when I just take the two at a time, like today I just finished shooting, so now I'm going to go pick the 2 movements for next week, right? So then I'm going to start kind of doubling down on that. And it's just like, hey, I can do that. I can focus on 2 things. I can't focus on 100, but I can focus on 2. So that's how I'm doing it. And that seems to be what, keeps me sane. So talk to you later. Bye.